Hey everyone, I hope you're having a super great day. It's Melanie Johnson along with my business partner, Jenn Foster. Hey Jenn.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
All right, so we're going to talk about the importance of your personal brand, getting that foundation laid, and your social media, especially for authors. Authors come to us all the time. I don't know how to market my book. I don't know what I should be doing. I'm confused about social media. So it's really, really important that you lay this foundation for yourself. And get started and have this personal brand that you're investing in and creating. Don't you think, Jenn?
Oh, it's very important. I've always been an advocate for social media and having an online presence.
Yeah, so I think it's important. I got to put my glasses back on here. Hope you don't mind. So, the first thing you should do as an author is make sure you have your author profile set. Make sure you have your Amazon author profile, your Goodreads profile that it's set. And it's so important to have your personal brand. I mean, I talk about my son Nathan all the time, who really started investing in his personal brand when he was a teenager and always was not afraid to put money into that, spend time, money, resources into developing that personal brand. I was kind of jealous the other day. He got this goodie box sent to him of all these beautiful products for shampoo, conditioner, body wash, all this stuff. And it looked so beautiful. And it was all because he's invested in his personal brand and people look at him as an influencer now. So you want people to not just look at your book, but look at you and become a personal brand yourself.
Yeah, it's very important to have similar or the same profile picture on each platform so people can recognize you. If you do get new headshots, you can use the same headshot across all platforms. It gets a little confusing though if you use the same picture for your personal Facebook and your business page Facebook. So you definitely don't want to use the exact same picture. You might want to use a different picture if you're going to do a personal. Like for us, we create author pages on Facebook all the time for people, but we don't want the image of the Facebook author page to be the same image as their personal profile because it gets confusing on which profile you're posting on.
That makes sense. I was going to ask you, well, how do you get confused? But that's true because then you're like, well, this has the same picture, almost the same name. How do I know it's a different
Right.
profile?
Well, and there's new technology with Facebook and Meta. And so they have Meta Business Suite now where you can go and create posts or you can just post in real time on Facebook. But when you switch back and forth from your business page to your personal page or your author page or influencer page, whatever, the fan page, then you definitely don't want the same picture because it gets confusing on where you're posting and who you are.
And I'll just say, I know Jenn has been barking about, oh, ever since Meta Business came, it's so much more confusing. So it can be confusing. I mean, it is great to have somebody do it for you so you don't have to learn how to do all this along with running your business and being an author and doing all that stuff because it changes all the time. It drives us crazy because we're posting for authors, creating social media platforms for them. And I would say every few weeks, it seems like there's something different that's going on, that they're changing things. I guess they're always trying to tweak it and make it better, but it's hard to keep up, especially if you're trying to do everything yourself.
For sure. And that's why it is really important to have a team of people to help you with your social media. And there's so many out there now. I mean, you've got Facebook and Instagram, you've got TikTok, you've got Instagram Reels, you've got YouTube Shorts, YouTube, which is a totally different than YouTube Shorts, right? So there's all different platforms, Twitter. And if you don't know how to post on those or what the trends are, I mean, it used to be 5 to 7 hashtags on Instagram. Well, now it's 3. So, I mean, they just keep changing things. If you have 7, then they're not going to promote your posts anymore. If you have 3, then they'll promote your posts. So, I mean, it just keeps changing and you got to stay on top of the trends.
Yeah, I think part of the thing that we learn in our business as well is do what you do the best and have a team, right? That can do. That's how businesses that are billion-dollar businesses grow, is they create this great team to build this whole platform for themselves. So I suggest that you find the right team of building those strategic partners and people that can work with you to really build your brand, and people that do it all the time. I mean, we do things, outsource certain things in our business, and we're looking for experts that do that specific thing and bring them onto our team. So like book formatters, we want want the best of the best book formatters to work with us. And that's all they do. They eat, sleep, and drink book formatting. So you want to bring people onto your team to help promote your book and get sales. Now, I want to do this is like a myth. Will social media help me sell books? The answer is no. I'm saying you might sell a few books because you have social media and someone's seen there, but in true honesty, it really does not help explode your brain. Like, oh man, I'm posting on social media. I should be selling like 100 books a day now because I'm posting. It just doesn't happen. But what it does do is it gives you that presence. It gives you that consistency where people are finding you. They don't think, well, did this person pass away because they haven't posted on social media in a year? And I think, well, they're not very active. They're not doing anything. Why do I want to buy their book? Or why do I want to engage with their services or products or hire them to speak? They want to say that you're current, right? That you're out there, you're doing things, you've got momentum. You want to connect with those type of people. So you've got to do the social media because it gives people a look into who you are and who you are today and seeing that you're still relevant. So if you're not posting, that means you're not relevant and you have less of a chance for someone to buy your book or your products or your services. So that's why you do it. And yeah, you may sell some books, but most importantly, you want to make sure that they're connecting with you to buy your other products and services.
Right. I mean, the whole purpose of social media is to give value and to connect with others and start conversations, right?
Mhm.
So think of it that way. It's like, what value can you provide and show on your social media for people to know, like, and trust you so that you can get the things that you are seeking, which is either a speaking gig or to sell
Mhm.
more books or to sell your products or services, or maybe it's just to connect with people,
Yeah,
right? And to get people to send you a direct message, send you a DM. And the key to all of that is authenticity.
right.
And I know there's another social media app, but I haven't used it yet, but I know all the kids are using it, called Be Real. And it's supposed to be more authentic. It's supposed to show a picture of you at that moment and what you can see at that moment. So it's showing what's in front of you and it's showing a selfie. And it's supposed to be real. Like, you're not supposed to pose for it. You're not supposed to, and it's random. It just notifies you and you're supposed to do it right then. But it's supposed to be authentic and real so people can really get an insight to what your life is like. And it's not supposed to be staged and you're not supposed to like look pretty or anything. Like, it's just how you look. And that's
Yeah, just put it
authenticity
out
and
there.
real.
And I think you have to remember that I love what you said about conversation. So think of this,
Mhm.
conversations create opportunities. If you're not having a conversation, you're not going to get those opportunities. So it's being out there, being relevant so people can find you. So especially if people are searching for your topic or searching for something about your book. So if you wrote a book about business sales, if you're not being relevant, then the people who are being relevant and consistent with posting, they're the ones who are going to come up in search. You're going to be way, way down there if you're not having those conversations. So keep the conversation, keep relevant, and know who you're talking to and know where those people hang out. So you want to do an analysis of who is my target audience. If you haven't done that already, you really need to do that. We do that for our clients when we have help them create their book or help them launch their book. Who is that one person that you're talking to and where are they hanging out? So, we get this question, should I be everywhere? Well, ideally it's great to be everywhere. We're everywhere. But most of our clients come from YouTube, believe it or not. So what are your top two platforms and really focus on those. And even if you're down to just the top one, pick your top one and really focus on having those conversations and posting there. How often should you post? We say you should post like 3 to 5 times a week minimum. So that's what we recommend for our authors is to get out there and post. Doesn't have to you being live with video all that time. You can post quotes from your book, tips from your book, action items from your book. These are all for nonfiction books. If you're a fiction book, then it should be maybe character development, why you wrote the book, behind the scenes. What if this happened to this particular character? What do you think would happen? So a lot of different things that you can do. And you can create these ahead of time and then just put them on a schedule. There's different schedulers you can use to do that if you're doing it yourself. But again, to hit that pinnacle of success, you really need to create that team and have a winning team behind you that are experts at doing that.
Yeah. I remember an author from one of my very first authors I published. he wrote the book Horse Angels, and I told him he needed to do a podcast about his book. And he thought, this is a fiction book. How would I do a podcast? And I said, have someone interview you, record it on video, and we'll put it on the podcast. We put the audio on the podcast and we put the video on YouTube. And now he still gets sales from his book, and he still gets views on his YouTube channel about the book Horse Angels, because he did it once, and it took him, maybe 90 minutes to record all the interviews. We broke them up into five different parts.
Yep.
And he still has the podcast out there. If you look it up, if you just want to hear the audio instead of watching him on video. But it really happens and matters. And you can do something like that and repurpose that video everywhere, and repurpose the audio everywhere, and transcribe it on Otter and use the text and put it as quotes, create posts from it using canva.com.
So I'm going to give a shout out for our book, Podcast Authorized, How to Turn Your Book into a Podcast and Your Podcast into a Book. And I'm also going to do a little shout out for our podcast, Elite Expert Insider. And we've used that to get clients. If I go back in our database, we've gotten 20 clients from our podcast. So just think about that. We had a client that we interviewed, and she signed an agreement on the spot. She's like, I love you guys. Give me an agreement right now. We're right here on this, in the green room of the podcast. And she signed a Wall Street Journal bestselling agreement with us right there on the spot. So it's a great way to do that. So our two podcasts are Elite Expert Insider, which we've had for quite a while. And then we just started a publishing one, Elite Publishing Podcast. So you can check those out for more information on specifically publishing and ins and outs and tips on publishing your book and marketing your book and launching your book. And the other one, we just have things that inspire, motivate, and educate you about all different topics, whether it's health, whether it's business, whether it's family, whether it's women's issues. We have all kinds of fun topics that we do there as well. So
yeah, I love
check those out.
Yeah, I love our Elite Expert Insider podcast, because we've been doing it for almost 8 years now. Yeah. And we've done almost an episode a week. So almost at least 50 episodes every year. So you can go check that out and learn and educate yourself, whether you're an entrepreneur, self-employed, or even if you are a W-2, earner and work for someone else. There's great insight on just learning about other people and their expertise.
Yeah. And I'm going to encourage you, if you're like, a podcast, oh my gosh, how would I even do that? That's overwhelming. Again, it comes down to a team. We can do that for you. If you're interested, just reach out to us at Elite Online Publishing. You can go to the author submission form, but just tell us that you're interested in creating a podcast, and we can develop the whole thing for you and help you with the content of it as well. And, if not, just pick up our book, Podcast Authorized. It's on Amazon, everywhere books are sold. So you can do that as well. So happy Friday, everyone. Have a super great day, and have a great weekend. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Have a great weekend.